If the numbers aren't looking good, then yeah, they can always be improved, but it might be time to make some changes. Taking a look at your store, like your UX, site speed, the theme, the design.
Welcome to Honest E-Commerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Honest E-Commerce. To kick off 2025, I'm bringing my business partner, Shawn Khemsurov, back to the show. Shawn, how are you doing today?
What's up? I'm doing good.
Awesome. So we did some homework and we want to approach this to basically help everyone formulate a strategy for Q1, essentially, based upon the learnings of what happened to them during Q4, and basically answer the question, it's a new year. Do I need a new store? And there's like kind of a few ways that works out, I guess. But for the first part is, if you're not on Shopify, you should probably migrate, is what I'd say.
Not a bad place to start, yeah?
These days, what's like a typical migration project like timeline look like?
I mean, things are definitely faster, just depending on what platform you're on. But I mean, if you're looking for something fairly straightforward, so just like a basic Shopify store with a new theme, like, get a theme from the theme store, dress it up a bit, don't have to go crazy. And then obviously take your data. Those two things can kind of be worked on simultaneously. So that way you're kind of designing the store and then preparing the data and moving it over all at the same time, as long as you have, the hands to do it. But yeah, I mean, it can be done in as little as a month, I would say. But, typically things drag out a little bit. It's hard sometimes, depending on the platform, to get the data out and reformatted and into Shopify the right way using Matrixify.
Yeah, Matrixify is dope. Shout out to Maris.
Yeah, the best at importing, exporting data from Shopify for sure.
Yeah, but that's always the rub with migration projects, because you can put the data into whatever platform you want, whatever way you want, and even if it's like a familiar platform like a WordPress, it's like you can still build your products in a goofy way. So there's like still this like manual component of like identifying how it's set up to convert it into what Shopify wants.
Yeah, I mean, saving time is key. I mean, very cliche right now, but using ChatGPT or AI to basically get a starting point. So if I'm pulling data out of like a weird old rickety system, I can take the Matrixify template and then dump that into ChatGPT along with the original data set, and it will spit it out reformatted. Now, you should probably check it and make sure it's done correctly. But it saves a lot of time just up front, like identifying columns, moving things around. But yeah, migration can be easy. It can also be very complicated. So find a good partner if you need help moving over.
Yeah, and this is probably a good time to shout out. Shawn and I wrote a migration checklist that we're pretty proud of, and he designed it up, and it looks really cool. So if you are thinking about migrating to Shopify in 2025, you can go to our website and get that checklist, or you can just email us and we'll send it right over.
Yeah, it's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, it outlines the entire process, our process, at least to the best of our ability, to try to like just not leave any stone unturned and telling you like what you should expect.
Yeah, if you want to have some fun and do it yourself, knock yourself out, but it's probably going to take a long time and be annoying. So
yeah, that's the thing. That's oftentimes what I'm talking about with potential clients. It's just like, I mean, if you feel you're tech savvy and you want to kind of fail through this for 3 to 5 months, go for it. Or we can just have it done and you can be making money, as quick as we can.
Yeah. I mean,
time to value, baby.
Definitely. I have someone working on my house right now. I'm doing a couple fixes, and it's like, yeah, I could probably put that vanity up in the bathroom, but it's going to take me the better part of the year to get that done. So I'm not doing it myself.
Absolutely.
Probably won't be done right either. So,
so obviously you and I are big proponents of Shopify. What are the reasons people are migrating to Shopify these days? What's their problems with their old systems, or what is about Shopify that they like?
I mean, I'm looking at one right now that we're working on. You know which one it is. I mean, the system is so old; it's not updated. It hasn't been updated in probably 10 years. So just even updating it would probably break it. But yeah, I mean, you have things spread out over different platforms. We got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And it's like Shopify is one single dashboard with all of your stuff organized, super user friendly. It's designed well. It's designed with the merchant in mind, so they can do stuff on their own and not rely on a developer all the time. There's a million reasons. It works. The checkout works. I know they did a lot of testing and introduced the one-page checkout, and that's doing well, as just improving on an already good product. So I don't think Shopify is going anywhere next year. It's probably only going to grow and attract more enterprise business, but it works. So
yeah, I remember I know the client you're talking about, and they told us during the sales call, he's like, our website just doesn't work sometimes. It just stops loading.
Yeah, we got locked out of it just for trying to use it, which is not good, thinking from a customer perspective. So yeah, I mean, if you want to streamline your operations, make it easy for you and your team, make it easy for customers to find stuff, check out, and have a good site speed and everything like that. And Shopify's the place to be if you're in e-commerce. And we've seen them all.
Yeah. It's also, if you are thinking about jumping from like your old platform to Shopify, during that project, it's also a good time to think about maybe potentially updating your branding or what you have to do a redesign, because there is no reason to migrate the same design over, because it just is like extra work basically, which might be a lot to go into.
Yeah, it's easier actually to start over, and that's not always the case in life, but in this case, yeah, it's like a good time to take stock of what you're doing, and you can redesign, you can rebrand, and it will just make the project way more fun and way more interesting in the end. Look really professional. Some of these old sites and old platforms, like, it just looks crazy. It doesn't work, and then you go through this 2-3 month process maybe, and you got like a whole new business. And the design of it is like just as important as, if you have a brick and mortar store. It's like, you're not going to have the brick and mortar store be a complete mess with product everywhere, stuff blocking the entryway, broken windows. Like, it's crazy. Like, you have to treat your online store like a business.
Yeah, it's your number one salesperson. It's open 24/7. It's definitely something that people need to think about. I mean, we obviously have beat that topic to death. Like, if we believe Shopify is the best for most use cases when it comes to e-commerce, but I know a lot of our listeners are already on Shopify. So let's help them kind of self-identify if, they need to redesign their store, or invest in a new theme in 2025, or potentially get into more strategic design stuff. So if we're looking back on the sales during Q4, their Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff, their Christmas stuff, what are some things that they might be looking at or trying to like recognize that's like, yeah, we should probably take the money we made and reinvest it back in this experience?
Yeah, I think just looking at the data, I mean, obviously, if you have customer feedback from customer service, or if something wasn't working right, or there was some friction in checkout, or it was slow, there's a lot of things there to look at. But diving deeper, like into the numbers, looking at your average order value, checking to see how your conversion rate held up versus the rest of the year, and then also like versus last year. So is your conversion rate up? Did you do things during the year to improve that? Look at your bounce rate. Look at the revenue per session. Like, you can look at all that stuff and see, like, did I do a good job compared to last year? Where are things kind of trending? Is my whole business down? And if the numbers aren't looking good, then yeah, they can always be improved, but it might be time to make some changes. Taking a look at your store, like your UX, site speed, the theme, the design, the product, even potentially, if things didn't go well.
Yeah, I know that what we often are looking at when we're doing diagnostics, we do this for clients, by the way. Here's a salesy part, is you can hit us up and we do a Shopify diagnostic, which is, basically doing this kind of audit for a brand's existing store. But things that you want to look at is, first, if you're not on a Shopify 2.0 modern theme, now's the time to start that project. I am not kidding. We have 3 or 4 folks that we're going to be talking to again this month that came up about a year ago that wanted to start the project and they just couldn't get their ducks in a row. But just the performance gains of those 2.0 themes, utilizing meta fields, search and discovery, is wild.
Yeah, I mean, you can do so much with them. It's just a no-brainer to upgrade. I can't find any good reason not to. I mean, even if you have a custom site, it's like you can put some time into an upgrade and like just redo everything probably faster than dealing with everything else on the current site that sucks. So
absolutely. Another thing that we like to look at when we're doing these audits is the actual performance of the store. And we just, we're not doing anything fancy. It's just we're doing Google Lighthouse and we're taking a look at all the apps that are loading. And that's, there's often clients where their site's good enough. They don't necessarily need to redesign, but there can still be improvements. What are some of those improvements that we're doing, or what's some of the like low-hanging fruit per se?
I mean, if you have like an updated theme, it can still be slow. So I'm not saying that 2.0 is going to instantly solve all of the problems, but you might have...
Yeah, if you load it up with a bunch of bad apps. Yeah.
100 apps. Yeah. You might have 100 apps, like, 50 you're not using. That's aggressive, but just proving a point. I've seen some crazy stuff, but yeah, if you're not using certain apps, but we're looking at the code in depth and seeing what's going on with JavaScript. I'm not a developer, so I don't know all the terminology, but there's definitely some things with the treating images, how they load, minifying, things like that, and making just streamlining everything so things load fast. And there's some tricks to do. There's definitely some tricks out there that don't work, certain apps that increase your site speed that don't really do anything. But yeah, there's taking a good hard look at the code, look at the apps, look at your images. You might have images or videos loaded in that are way too big, and Shopify supposedly shrinks them for you, but I've seen it happen where they don't. So they can slow your site down.
Hey, Shopify store owners. Have you ever wondered if your store is leaving money on the table? Imagine increasing sales without spending more money on ads. Sounds too good to be true. Well, it's not. I'd like to introduce you to StoreTester. StoreTester is a done-for-you conversion rate optimization service for Shopify merchants. Could your store benefit from increased conversion rates, higher average order values, and improved revenue per visitor? StoreTester could be the perfect partner for you. From ideation to implementation, this full-service A/B testing service takes all of the guesswork out of improving Shopify stores. StoreTester does all the work for you while offering month-to-month transparent fixed pricing. it gets even better. They believe in their service so much, they're offering the first test for free for qualified merchants. Let me repeat, the first test is free for qualified merchants. Curious to see if you qualify for a free test? Reach out today. Visit StoreTester.com to schedule an intro call. That's www.StoreTester.com. Schedule an intro call today to see if you qualify for a free test. Hey everybody, today's podcast is brought to you by Intelligems, the ultimate profit optimization tool for Shopify merchants. I'm telling you this, obviously you know I own an agency. We use Intelligems when we're running split testing and CRO stuff for all of our clients. Are you looking to maximize your profits? Intelligems offers data-driven solutions to optimize your content, prices, discounts, and shipping rates. Join over 500 happy clients who have seen significant improvements. With Intelligems, you gain control over your e-commerce economics, boosting your profit per visitor by an astonishing 36%. But that's not all. Intelligems users report a 54.62% increase in revenue per visitor and a remarkable rise in conversion rates. How does Intelligems do it? Through a suite of tools that allows you to A/B test everything on your Shopify store, from landing pages to product prices and shipping rates. Imagine testing new layouts, offers, even a new Shopify theme with ease. We're testing a new landing page for our client on a new theme versus an old landing page on their old theme right now. Intelligems empowers you to find the perfect price point for your products and optimize your shipping strategy. But there's more. Boost your average order value with customized campaign offers and discover if your customers prefer free shipping or a lower list price. With over $100 million in incremental profit generated, they have over 1.5 billion transactions ran through their software. They have over 400 million shoppers that have gone through their test. Intelligems is not a tool, it's a game changer for your business. Are you ready to transform your Shopify store's profitability? Book a demo today at Intelligems.io. Empower your brand to reach new heights. Again, that's Intelligems, giving superpowers to your customer acquisition, retention, and overall profitability. Something we'll be doing more in 2025 is these landing pages on the back of kind of like a 2.0 template. Could you in layman's terms, explain what that, why is that better than just using a PDP or a product display page? If for people that don't know what that industry jargon is.
Yeah, there's a few reasons. I mean, what we're doing now is we're creating a specific landing page template, which is essentially is a version of the product page. So it looks somewhat similar, but we oftentimes remove the header links, like the navigation, and we'll change the footer, we'll simplify it. And the goal of that is if you're spending money advertising, you want to send someone directly to a page that's optimized for a quick sale. And so we'll do a lot of different things, but we will have a sticky add to cart button upon scroll. We'll put a ton more information on the page about the product. And I think sometimes merchants get bogged down with I have 100 products or 1,000. It's writing all of that information, all the specs, educational stuff for every single product is difficult. And I understand that. So it's let's take your top 2 products or the product you're advertising for the holiday and really, for lack of a better word, pimp the page out. You're going to put a bunch of information there, education, benefits, testimonials, reviews, but maybe more images of the product in action, people interacting with it, all of that stuff. And then also potentially discounts. So what else can you do to really entice the buyer? And there's some structures we can probably put in the show notes that we follow.
With these landing pages, like you said, just focus on the top 1 or 2 things. And it's if you have a flagship offer or a flagship product and you don't have a landing page built out for your direct response ads, which is just a fancy way of saying your Google or your Meta kind of stuff where you're driving, paid traffic to it. You're leaving money on the table because your typical PDP kind of has one goal, and this, landing page kind of stuff will have a separate goal, and you can iteratively split test with Intelligems and get wild with kind of slowly improving, be it your conversion rate, or if you're trying to increase your average order value, building out this page in a way that is more bundle friendly. It definitely helps you narrow your focus of what that funnel is and how you want to improve that kind of funnel and that offer and those sales.
Landing pages, like, definitely it's something to do once you've done everything else. It's like, what's next? It's like, I'm going to definitely spend more money on advertising. I have a product. I know it's good. People just need to get to the page and check out. And so just streamlining that and removing distractions is important. But definitely, I would say putting together some landing pages for next year would be really smart.
Yeah. And then once you have those landing pages, make sure that you get something cool on there to record heat maps and scroll maps and get some user testing, customer feedback, surveys, and you can really start to go crazy with split testing and really crank those things up. And it's not unreasonable to get, conversion rates up in the 5, 6, 7, 8% on these landing pages if they're really dialed. And, a lot of it is off of the page as well. Like, your marketing's got to be on point. You got to be getting the message in front of the right people. But then also, the page has got to be on point. It's got to be answering all of the questions that the customer might have and making that checkout process just as seamless as possible.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Online Store 2.0 and all the changes that Shopify made, it's like you can duplicate these landing page templates across products. So while obviously working with someone like us to design you one might be a bit of an investment up front, but then it's like you have that page, you can duplicate it and change the content out super quickly as long as you have it. But you can change it out super quickly in the customizer of the theme, and you can just keep going and do it for more products.
Yeah, I guess that is worth mentioning. We're not using like an app or anything like that. We're just building this right within the theme, and you own it. You can clone it, and everything is editable. It isn't like hard coded or anything like that. And it plays extremely nice with Intelligems if you want to start split testing stuff.
Yeah.
The last question here I have for you, Shawn, is kind of around Shopify Plus, and we've been doing a lot more with them this year. And what should a merchant be thinking about if am I ready for Plus? Like, is it a sales thing? Do I want to do super cool stuff in checkout? Like, what have you seen?
It's both, but I definitely just think like coming to terms with the size of business you are really is going to be a deciding factor. I mean, if you're plugging along at a nice clip and sales are great and you have a lot of revenue, it's kind of an obvious choice. I think if you're on the fence, it's definitely looking at the processing rates and seeing what makes sense for if you're going to save some money with that. And also if there are just certain things that you really want to take advantage of, maybe if you're not quite big enough and saving money there, but you want to take advantage of like B2B wholesale stuff or functions and like advanced checkout customizations and all kinds of crazy stuff, then yeah, you probably need to go Plus. But if not, then you might be fine just using advanced Shopify and just waiting until it makes more sense. But yeah, it's just seeing where you're at.
And if you want some help figuring that out, reach out to us. We kind of do that all the time.
We can take a look. There's some calculators and fun stuff, or if you have certain needs and there are things you want to get done next year and you can't do without Plus, then maybe it's right for you.
But I do know that one of the things is, if you are doing, $5+ million a year, and you have a product offering that is like upsell or cross-sell friendly, getting that into your checkout can probably pay for Plus and then some to a pretty wild degree. Checkout customizations are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Other cool things, Shopify Flow is awesome. Their Shopify Audiences is pretty new, but if you have a good understanding of how your marketing works and plugging that in with your marketing team, those audiences have, I guess, been doing some really cool things for people's advertising efforts. But they are improving the Plus product. A lot of cool things are coming to it in 2025. Is there anything I didn't ask you, Shawn, that you think's worth sharing with the audience?
I mean, Plus is awesome, but obviously it's not a fit for everybody. But it's important to also mention that Shopify's got new features all the time, and a lot of the time things will start Plus and trickle down. But yeah, there's new customer accounts, comes with a lot of cool stuff. It's been a little bit hard to just get it to a point where it's integrating with like all of the apps. But I think once that's figured out, it's going to come in handy for a lot of people. And if you're not switched over and you have, no apps that impede that process, it might be worth it to look into that and just take all the benefits of, it's passwordless login. Customers have like a nice dashboard where they can see everything happening in one place. It's looks better. And there's some advantages to, like, you can do self-service returns without an app and a bunch of different cool stuff. So Shopify is always adding interesting features, and it's worth it, obviously, to keep an eye on those and see something that you're solving with an app might be solvable in the future without, or you can add a new feature with relative ease, click of a couple buttons, without an app. So it's always good to have more native features.
Absolutely. Or a partner like Electric Eye to help you navigate that minefield. We are working with dozens of clients at a time, so we're learning, unfortunately, super fast. We have to keep up on it. It's basically our career.
Definitely.
With that, I'm going to let you go, Shawn. Everyone out there, if you need help in 2025, feel free to reach out to us. We would enjoy working with you. Our diagnostic is super fantastic, and I think it would make sense for a lot of people that want a second opinion on their store. But yeah, Shawn, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks. Good talking to you as always. I'll see you in probably a couple minutes.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestycommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.